Well, good afternoon and good evening, perhaps even good morning. Thank you so much for dropping by yet again on our new little afternoon holding coding hacking session. Joe, wonderful to see you. So nice that you could make it. Say hello to Rod if he's in the room next door. What are you up to tonight? I'm here with my cup of coffee and I'm kind of in the mood for doing a little bit of an experiment before we get cracking. I hope you don't mind. It's going to be exciting. It's also going to be Unreal Engine related, of course. And the experiment that I'm trying to do is, first of all, I'm going to go and do that, I guess. Do that, make sure that's there, that is there, that's also good. So let's go, first of all, let's put some music on by a man named, well, is this, might not be the correct, there we go. Jerry McHoy. I'm in the mood for some little bit of smooth jazz. So let's do that, smooth jazz, but also, more importantly, let's have a look at the Cinti Store website, which is the one that currently has that sale on. Up to 70% off, it says. And our project that we're building here is the kind of the demo project, you could say, for, where is it now? It is called the Western Pack. That's the one I've been using so far. Knights Fantasy Rival Western Pack. This is it. Let me go and open that here. This is the Western Pack. Currently available for $9.99. So this is what I'm building assets out of. Or this is what I'm building that demo out of. And they have a second project. So these are all the assets that we have. This is in fact our demo level that we're running around. We've built that train just on this side here. It's very nicely done. And this is the funky stuff we can put hay bales in and stage coaches and everything. So this is the set that we're currently playing with already. But I'm showing you this because there's another one that I have purchased earlier, and that is called this one here. That is the Western Frontier Pack. And that is literally, that was $25, usually $50. I thought I'd procure it today, and that comes with more characters, and that comes with more things, and more importantly with another demo level. So I'd like to take a quick look at that and potentially integrate it into the current project so that we can click a button and then load either this level or the one that we're currently working on. And I haven't had a look at this whole asset pack yet, so I thought maybe we can do that together. And then if it works well, if it looks the part, we can bring it in at least for a second level that we can then load. And then we keep prodding on with our other project. The thing is, if we were to integrate all these characters, look, he looks like the Monopoly man here. If we were to bring in all these characters, that'd be quite exciting. It'd be a big project. I don't know if I can pull it off. Look, because we have, these are 5. That's in addition to the 8 that we already have in our project. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Plus that's 19 characters plus the 8 that we have. Whew, that's quite exciting. I think it tells you on the front page. There's more characters. Oh my goodness. Very good. These are all the character variations that we get with this pack. So I think it tells us here 21 characters with alternate colors. Woohoo! The Beard Goblin, hello, hello. Good to see you. No worries, and Rod will be joining us later. That is exciting. Good that you could make it, Beard Goblin. I appreciate that. Good stuff. So I'm thinking the way these things come in, this is like, they come in as just zip files. And all I did literally was download them earlier. So I bought 2 packs here, the Pirates pack. These are the Unity versions, and this is the Western Pack source files and the Unreal project for the Western Frontier Pack. So let me go and extract all of that here. Yeah, that's cool. We can rename that later. See what happens. While that is doing that, I think I have to manually kick off the next track, I believe. So we get continuous music. Is that correct? Yes, because let is over. It'd be lovely if we could just go and just listen, just listen to all his projects. That'd be good. But I don't think it's arranged that way. I have to put a playlist together for that. That's cool. We're just going to listen to something that is like Jerry McCoy, and that'll just keep playing in the background all night long. Oh yes, Beard Goblin, I certainly have. And it is just such an exciting idea to do that, isn't it? I do have my Cinti assets on a different drive, actually. I could just go and put this over there do it properly. It is somewhere. It's a completely different drive. It's the storagist, I think. Is it? Maybe it's not. I don't remember. Where was it? Was it on this one? No, that wasn't it. Sure, it was on this one. Animations. I can't remember where that was now. Was it on here? Cinti assets. I'm sure it wasn't. Whoa! It's an amazing amount of followings here. Thank you so much, Logan. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for making it. I remember we met on Facebook once. Awesome to see you here on Twitch. This is good. Thank you. Crazy, my goodness. Petru, thank you. Awesome. And anyone else who I happen to not call out, I think the notifications just come in all at once. I think that's why that is making that noise. Crazy. Crazy good. Thank you so much. David, awesome. I like it. But yes, where are my... These are my Unreal projects here. I love it. I'm sure it's here. Unreal assets. That's it. That's it. And here the Cinti assets. That's what I've got. Adventure Farm Night and so forth. And I'm going to go and bring this one in. Polygon Western Unreal, I think. I do apologize. Usually that happens. That doesn't happen all at once. It's kind of cool to see so much success in here. Unbelievable. So I'll call this one Western Frontier. Frontier. Let's go and spell that properly. Frontier. There we go. And that's where I'm going to go and put the Unreal project in. So I think the way I've done it is there's an Unreal folder and a Unity folder and an OBJ folder. And let me just go see how I did that. You're more than welcome to have a look at this. So source, Unreal, that's it. And then these things. Perfect. I'll go and in here, I'm just going to call this one, I believe, Unreal. Then I know that this is the Unreal project. My goodness. So many followers. I love it. And then this can really go one level higher. I don't need that extra level here, so I can put that here. Boom. And then this one is empty. Wow. So this is what big streamers feel like, huh? 50 notifications a minute. I love it. There we go. So if we open this now, this might be made for an older version of Unreal Engine. So let me just go see what happens if I double click that. It asks me how do you want to open that, and it says to 426 or 425. I'm going to use this. My god, that is just a lot of notifications. Imran, thank you. Awesome. Some people follow from YouTube and I still get a notification here. And then so what YouTube calls subscribing, Twitch calls following. So that's a difference there. So this is that. We don't see anything. That is quite all right. Maybe we'll just go and open that. See what's in maps. There we go. Demonstration map. Let me just go quickly open that and it gets us a little idea of this project. I think that was the last of the notifications. How's the tiredness level, Beard Goblin? Are you okay? I'm aware that being released from surgery, it'll take a few weeks for you to get back into normalcy. And so many changes in the body happening all at once. I hope you're doing okay. It was really nice to see you yesterday, and I appreciate that you need to go to bed at a certain point. So if it gets too late for you, you know, don't be afraid to go to bed instead. Joe and I will hold the fort. There we go, the Western Frontier Pack. This is nice. We have a little fortification as such, and we have a vast open wilderness to explore. That is fantastic. Now, the only thing I don't know that could potentially screw this up for us in our other project is I don't know if the skeleton of the other pack is compatible with this one. So it's the first time I'm seeing this project. It's quite exciting for me. Yeah, vast open wilderness. Who wouldn't want to look at that? So let's see if we can integrate that into our other project. Ooh, fantastic. Awesome. Before I do that, and I'll go right ahead and do that. Before I do that though, I'm going to be extra clever and go ahead and dedicate a branch in my project. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I use GitHub for desktop, so we can do this version control thing. I don't think I've looked at this last time. First of all, I need to go and add this. Add a local repository. So we've made one yesterday. All we need to do is choose it. And that is, of course, in, was it Polygon Western? There we go. That's it. And the .git folder here tells me that this is, in fact, a version controlled folder. So I'm just going to go and select that, add this basically just to this app, which is GitHub for Windows. And it tells me some of these assets have not actually been checked in. So this is not the whole folders under version control, only the stuff that Unreal looks after, which is, you know, one of those things. I'll just call this added all content via desktop. And I'll say commit to master. And master, I don't know if you're familiar with version control, but master is the current branch that I'm on. So if I'm doing something scary like I'm about to do, I'm going to bring in lots of assets that I don't really know how my project's going to fare. I'm going to make a new branch, put all the assets into that branch, keep coding on that branch. And if something goes to pot, we have a current version that we can go back to. So that could either be a commit. I can go back to a commit and stay in this current branch, or is this actually doing something? Yeah, I think it is. That's cool. We'll leave it doing its thing. Take some time. I think. It would be nice to get some kind of feedback here. Just a visual little spinny thing. If it's a lot of assets, it takes a little bit of time to do that. On the command line, we can usually get a little bit of indication there. Don't know why this isn't happening here. But hey, so my point is that, look, these are the commits that we've made yesterday. So if I wanted to, I could go back to any of them. And then if something's gone wrong, I can go back to a previous commit and say, hey, let's just start again from scratch. And to be extra doubly safe here, we can put all our changes on a branch. A branch is great if you want to try something out in another version of your project. And then you can later merge them together. So that's how that works. Quite nice. Mighty! Hello, hello. What is going down? An updated version of GitHub is available. Well, are you actually working here or not? I'm kind of at a loss here. I'd love for this to just work. Perhaps let's go restart it. This could be a major bad mistake here. Let's see. New version. Come on. Add it. Even more assets. Come on, commit to master. Do your thing. Why you no work? We're on the master. Go do it. What do you not want to do? I don't understand. He's either working really hard or he's not working at all. I can't tell. Commit to master. It doesn't want to do it. A title. Oh, man, Mighty, you're the best. I'm so sorry. That's what I've been meaning to do. This is the thing I was... Oh, Mighty, what would I do without you? Thank you so much. Man. As if coding isn't hard enough. They need to throw these things in the thing and the... Ah. Great, we've got it. I'm not going to publish this, but I will make myself a new a new branch, which I'll call... Frontier. Create branch. Ah, yes. That's groovy. Good. So that now means I can go and just go like yesterday. I'm going to migrate this thing, the whole thing and nothing but the thing, into my actual project that we've been working on yesterday, which is called Polygon Western. There we go. And I'll put that into content, which we can get a new level. This is nice. It's a nice complement to the way they've integrated version control here. This is nice if you just want to commit changes that you make in the Unreal project, but sometimes, like this example just showed, not all changes are being taken into the project. And that's a little bit of an issue, of course, especially if you want to push it to GitHub privately or publicly. Careful with public pushing, by the way, because this is it, isn't it? Yeah. Because even if you use the third-person project, there are assets in there that you're not really meant to redistribute. So I'm sure you're not really going to get into trouble if you redistribute the Unreal skeleton, but technically you're not meant to do that because those are not your assets to redistribute. You can redistribute code that you write. There we go, Frontier Pack. All right. But you're not supposed to, it's like me publishing the Genesis 8 figure on Dash Studio. I can't really do that because it's not mine to redistribute. So you can use it for private repositories if you want to push it to the cloud and then pick it up on a different computer. That's what I do sometimes if I do something on my PC and then I want to go over and build the project on my Mac. Then I use GitHub for that with a private repository. There. I would like for us to just first of all have a look at this current project here. See all the hard work that we've put in yesterday. Can walk around with this guy. And I can change him into a different guy. That's what we've made so far. And I can give the man a different outfit. Look at that. Outfits aplenty. Also, skin tones aplenty. Haha. I like it. Need to take that debug message away. And what I'd like to do just now, really, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun, since I've just bought that Western Frontier asset, I might just start the project in this gray box here, but then I'm going to go add a couple of items, a couple of buttons here. Instead of just the quit button, I'll have another two that will let us choose a level into which we can go. So we can then go into town or into the desert. I think that would be great. And then we can load a different level with a menu. I think that'll be good. Absolutely. Always be wary what you share online. So I suppose the first thing that we'll do is we're going to go and copy ourselves the demonstration map out of here. And also I'm going to, the little question marks here tell me this is not acknowledged by version control. So we're going to go and take care of that in a moment. Question mark means Git doesn't know what to do with the file. Plus means, red plus means it's been added, but it hasn't been committed yet. Minus, I believe, means delete. Yeah, so this one, let's go and duplicate that. And call it, I'll call it Frontier Map. Frontier Map. There. And I will put that into our maps directory, Frontier Map. Here, there we go. Plus icon means this is a new file that's been added. And because we've added it in Unreal Engine, Git knows what to do with it. But the question marks have been added kind of outside of Unreal Engine with kind of, just flocked into the directories, and Unreal Engine says, yeah, look, I wasn't involved in that. Or Git says I wasn't really involved in that. So I know there's new files, but what do I do with them? You tell me. You're the human. Maps. Move here. All right. Yes, I do GitHub for Windows and for Mac as well. And it's really handy, even for smaller projects that you want to just version control code with. It's always nice to have a thing that you can go back to, but especially with Unreal Engine. So if I do this now, if I go ahead and say file, save all, this is kind of how you use it in principle inside Unreal Engine. You save all, everything's committed to save to disk, and then you can go version control or source control, submit to source control. And it shows me a few files that have been modified. And I can say added frontier level, or assets rather. But notice that only a few of these things, like the maps, they're being acknowledged. And I say submit. And that is now committed. If I were to do this again, Unreal Engine would say, hey, there's nothing to commit. Yeah, edit, errors, no assets to check in. So as far as Unreal Engine is concerned, everything is cool. But of course, if you then go switch over to GitHub for desktop, it says, hey, there's a ton of files that are here, and I'm assuming you want to add them. So this is actually slightly clever and says, hey, let's go add them. added frontier, or let's add the rest of frontier assets. Do you know what? Added remaining frontier assets. Let's just hope it works. Groovy. And now we have our two branches here. We have the frontier branch and we also have the master branch, to which we can go back in case, you know, need be. I'll go minimize this. And let's see. I say, let's get rid of that debug message first. I think that was in the Cinti character if we open him up. We did that little bit of debugging here, I remember yesterday, because this was a little bit complex to set up with the map variable, and I totally forgot to put the actual number on the left chop, so it didn't actually do what I wanted to. So, but we're done with this. Get rid of that, and that's cool. There, awesome. So skin change is fine. That's the skin tone change. Let's go and comment that as well. And call it change skin tone. Tones, really, but that's cool. We'll leave it like that. So cool. We have change outfits, change mesh, and change the skin tone. The level loading shenanigans is going to happen in selection menu. Here we go. So we need a couple of more buttons here. I might just go and duplicate the quit button once and twice. And I will leave the actual quit button, that one. And these are going to be the level load buttons here, these here. Maybe with a slightly smaller text. So this button, actually I might just go and, since this is hooked up, can I go and, yes, I can swap this around, can I? Perfect. This is nice. So the quit button is still hooked up on the outside. This one here, let's call it town. And I might just make the text a little bit smaller in a moment. And then I'll call this button also not just button quit, button town level perhaps. And then this guy here, that is going to be desert. We can travel. I like it. So this one is then button desert level even. See if that works. And text smaller. I can actually just leave it as it is. That'll work. Just have a quick nosy of what this looks like in full screen. Yeah, town and desert. Nothing's happening yet. But I think this is kind of alright. I think overall the whole text could be a little bit slimmer. We could also take the padding down. Maybe just now that we have more buttons, perhaps 20 padding is a bit much. Maybe I'll just make that 10. And just nudge that font down just a little bit. I have a feeling that's going to do us the world of good. Do you know, if there is a way to select all properties, all things with the same property, like all buttons, I wonder, I don't know. I don't know if there is. Like, with all these buttons selected, I wonder if there's an easier way to say select all buttons. I'm not sure if there is. Button padding, there it is. 10. It shrinks things down a little bit, including the bottom padding, so I might just nudge that up a tiny bit. Yes, alignment. I might just make that 1.2 so that it's just slightly elevated. That's nice. And let's go and change the text properties here. That's going to be under font, I would imagine. Font, there we go. Yeah, so instead of 40, perhaps we'll use 36. Or even 32. I don't actually mind. Perhaps we'll just leave that on 40. Town, you know, desert, big. let's just leave it like this. The padding has done the world of good. Alrighty, so really all we need to do then here is make sure these buttons are hooked up. See if we can make that happen. This is the quit game. And here we have desert level, and that's kind of an easy-ish one. We'll just call that one open level. And then that needs a name. And the desert level was called Frontier Map. Was that correct? I've already forgotten. Short-term memory. Frontier Map and Main Map. Okay, that's the other one. So that's the town level. Open level. Main map. I should really be kind to myself and call this one town map as well. And I just must make sure that I rename this one appropriately. So this is also now going to be called town map. Give Unreal Engine a second while many things are being rejigged under the hood. Great. There we go, and version control actually acknowledges, hey, this is a new file. The other one is magically no longer here, but that's fine. On our town map, we have a player start. Much like in here, we do have a player start in this map, but on the frontier map, we don't. So let me go and put one in there. Just otherwise, if we load the level via the button, it'll be like, you know, tragically catastrophic when Unreal Engine opens a level and there's no player start. So I go... Where shall we put the player start, I wonder? I mean, there is this big fort here. We could put it in there and then let the player go out through the door. That is one option. But I suppose we could also drop him either in the camp here, the Indian camp, or we can drop the player in the middle of the desert and let him find those attractions. I'm kind of a fan of that. I think I'd like to do that. Maybe at this non-shack here, at this nothing house, and we'll drop the player here and we say, oh my god, you're more or less in the middle of nowhere. You got to find yourself a way around here. That might be nice. Let's do that. Player start. And we're facing which way? We're facing the way of the house. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think I'd like to kind of face this way. All right, that's my player start. Also, perhaps I just want to make absolutely sure I don't... Yeah, no, that's perfect. I don't want the player start to be buried. I also don't want it to be too far up off the ground. One of those things. Rot, my man, no worries. Take your time. You've got a lot to do. I have yet to read the latest page of The Girls from TNA. That's Rod's comic series, in case you didn't know. Rod has been doing a comic series on Renderosity for 10 years using Poser and recently Dash Studio. I think it's mainly produced in Poser and many Photoshop tricks. So yes, nice to see that you're gonna push out pages a bit faster now. That's great. That's really nice. Let's see if it works. Let's head over to Save All and hit play. F11. Oh, that is kind of not really what I wanted to do, but it's cool. This is where we are. We can't go through. Need to futz with collisions. But so far it's all right. I mean, we can literally natively run around in a new level. Look at overturned carts in the middle of the desert. My goodness, a minute ago this was on the Cinti store. Now it's already in my project. I mean, you gotta say this is amazing. Some of these things need fixing, of course, but it's just for demonstration purposes. So, like, if we wanted to get the character into the house, I believe there's oh, come on. Is he stuck in the floor here? He doesn't want to move. There we go. Yeah, so there's this. He can't really walk up here. That's a bit too steep, so we need to fix all that. and then there's just no, the whole house probably has one block of collision, and so it appears to the collision detection as one big thing, and you can't go in there, so you have to kind of set this up yourself if you want it. But hey, not so shabby. I think something here in my connection from the keyboard / trackball to wherever it's being picked up here, it's being interfered with. It's not as smooth as I remember, so it's like my keyboard doesn't really acknowledge what I'm asking it to do. Oh, come on. But we get the principle, so that's what I really wanted to test, is what happens if we go to town now. If we select that, yes, look at that, now we're in town. Yeah, trackball is also no longer doing its thing. Oh yeah, actually there's something we need to do to survive a level load, because we bring up the menu here. I think this is why this didn't work well. The moment I go to a different level, technically the menu is no longer there because it's being set to hidden in the new level, but we're still setting the whole like the movement mode and stuff. That's all still set to don't move and don't look unless you go and dismiss the menu again. So like this example shows, I can look, I can walk. That's good. I'm going into the desert now, and even though the menu isn't there, I can't really look and I can't walk around right now. I can just about walk around. So the moment I go and bring the menu up and bring it down again, then I can walk. So as soon as we load a new level, the first thing that needs to happen is we need to dismiss the menu, or just call this hide menu function. That's very important. We can do that. We can do that. No worries. I hadn't thought this is going to be a multi-level project, but I'm glad we can put it in. So that's nice. The man in gym, huh? No worries. What else can we add here? Anything? Added new level, perhaps. Just so that I remember. So perhaps we'll fix that then in the character. In probably, is it menu shenanigans? Yes, there we go. I think we can do that there. Event begin play. That's a kind of a good time to call that. That we just go, and once everything is added to the viewport, we just go and call hide menu once. It's kind of a quick fix to avoid that, I believe. Let's just see if it works. We can walk, we can look. We do this, we go to town. We can walk and we can look. There we go. So that has fixed that. There is, speaking of this level load thing, I mean, there is a potential issue now, and it's kind of nice that we're doing this. I suppose this is a good a place as any before we add gamepad compatibility. Let's go and take care of this first. If I were to go, and I'm in the desert now, if I were to go and change my character to maybe this guy, and in this outfit with this skin tone, so it's a kind of a dark guy with a big tash with the sombrero kind of hat here. If I were to go back to town now, watch what happens to my character. He's changing back into this guy. And that is, of course, because the default values for this guy are set the moment we instantiate this class, and the instantiation happens the moment we load the level. So we need to have a place that will survive the level load, an instance that will take all these values and store them, and as soon as the level is loaded, we need to go and call upon these settings. So I might go and implement that. Well, hey, Mr. Chris, that is so nice of you to drop by. Hello, hello. And thank you so much for your subscription. That is really, really nice. Top of the evening, Chris, indeed. It's almost evening for us. It's kind of getting there. It's like late afternoon. But for Beard Goblin, it's evening, so there we go. Awesome, glad to see you. Are you streaming today at 7? I believe you are, right? If I'm still on, I might totally raid you. That'd be cool. Or you may have to go on a little bit earlier. I don't know. It's just time flies usually when you do complex projects, so I might well still be on until 7. I don't know yet. So let's implement that. Let's implement these scary features that, and also put some people into the desert, which is currently unpopulated. It's the Lady of the Night here. Very good. Oops. All right. So the magic behind that lies in something called the game instance. If we open my third-person game mode, that's not actually where that is. It's I think it's under Edit, Project Settings. Under Maps and Modes, this is where I can set up my default bits and pieces. So my default, the game default map, which is the gray box, the editor startup map, which is also the gray box, the default game mode, which is the third-person game mode, so we have that. But there's also something down here, which is the game instance. That is, of course, cut off. So let me go here. This is just underneath here. This is where game instance is. And this is another object that we can give the game our own game instance. So game instance is another class, and currently it's the one that is the default, like, you know, player controllers, default class. We don't code in that. It's just the one that kind of comes for free with Unreal Engine. And we're going to go and add our own thing here, but we have to set it up first. And I'm going to put that into blueprints here next to third-person game mode. I'm going to go and create myself a new blueprint class. And I think I have to search for it under all classes. And this one's called game instance. Game instance, there we go. Platform game instance, good stuff. Yeah, this is it, new game instance. And I'm going to call that one Western game instance, because, you know, we're all in the Western times and stuff. And currently, if I double click that to open that, there's really nothing in here. And that's fine. We're gonna dedicate a couple of properties here in a moment. So I'll leave that open for now. But most importantly, I'm going to tell my project that this is the game instance I want to use, so Western game instance. Project settings. Maps and modes. Western game instance. All right, there we go. That takes care of that. So now that means when we start our project, this thing is going to be used. And we can use it, so the nice thing about the game instance is that it's one of the few objects in Unreal Engine that is being spawned or instantiated when you run the project, and no matter what happens, characters can be spawned and torn down, and levels can be spawned or loaded and torn down again. They're all volatile, so they all lose all the variable values that they have. But the game instance doesn't do that. The game instance is, I don't know if it's a singleton class actually, but it's instantiated and it survives the whole game no matter what you do to everything else. So this is the perfect place to stash a value and then grab it as soon as we load the new level. So let's see if we can put some functionality in here. If I think about it, we need to only really store two values at the moment. If the game were to have like which weapon have you picked up in the previous level and which one you want to continue using in the next level, that's also a good place to do that. Same with scores. So if you want to count a score that needs to come over from one level to the next, this is a good place to store that. So all we need to do here, we only want to carry on the outfit that we've selected, so the skeletal mesh, and we want a material, don't we? Material and a skeletal mesh. Those are things that we want to store. So let's set up variables. One is going to be, let's just call it the, let's call it the mesh maybe. The current mesh, how about that? Current mesh. Let's put that, that's good. And the other one is going to be current material. There. These are not supposed to be booleans, of course, so if I go and start with current mesh, that's going to be something called skeletal mesh. And there we go, this is it. That's that. And then the current material is also not going to be boolean. That's going to be, this is actually going to be a little bit difficult. So I don't really know why that is the case, but it's not just a material. It's a material. I thought it would be just a material object reference. Is that it? No, I think that is not it. I think it has to be a material. Don't ask me why. It's a material interface. And as I said, I don't know enough about it to understand why this has to be an interface instead of the actual material. But hey, them's the rules. Oh hey, Mr. Zero Calvin! How's it going? Top of the afternoon to New Jersey. Very good to see you. So those being variables, I think they need to be instance editable, both of them. And other than that, we don't really need to do, currently don't need to do anything here. I mean, I can go and compile this, and that lets us set default values for both of these. So I think I might do that. I think I might have to do that. So on my mesh, I think we're currently using, who's that? Sombrero guy, bad guy. Let's use bad guy. Should we use bad guy? Or should we use businessman? Let's use businessman. That's a nice one. And current material, I'm gonna go and set this to maybe the 1B material, so that he's not just the pale skin guy. He's kind of the shade down from that. I think that is all I need. I'm gonna go compile, and I think that is really all I need to do in the game instance. So let's go and close that. Comment these things just to finish that off. No, actually, I'm not going to finish that off. These things, we need to do something before we load the level, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. When we do load the level, this is in the selection menu. We might as well put it here. It doesn't matter where we put it. But just before we load the level, we'll add a function in here, and that will just grab the variables of our current character and stash them in the game instance. And when we then when the character gets loaded in that construction script, we grab them. So let's stash them first, and we do that by way of a function, little function, and we'll call this one perhaps new function isn't the best name. We'll call that one stash character. So what we need then is a reference to our character. Grab that out here. And get its skeletal mesh. So get skeletal... No, actually get mesh is probably what we need to do first. Get, not mass mesh, get mesh, isn't it? Get material, get mesh, dude. Get mesh, there we go. That's the one. Get mesh. The mesh itself then has a thing called the skeletal mesh, so we can then from the mesh say get skeletal mesh. Can we not do that? I thought that's how we did that. Let's verify. Our character, this is the man, he has a mesh component inherited, and it has a thing called the skeletal mesh. So that is what we need, isn't it? Why can we not do that? Let's try again. Do we need to compile this first? I doubt it. Get the character. Get mesh. I don't know why there's so many. Character get mesh, that's the one. Get skeletal mesh, there it is, perfect. And this we want to go and, well, make it look slightly pretty. That we want to go and set onto our new variable, which we haven't actually got yet. So, another thing that we need to do, probably up here, because I want to grab a reference to that. On pre-construct here, I'm going to grab myself... Should I do that? No, actually, don't worry about it. Forget I said anything. I'm going to go and get a reference to my game instance. So get game instance. This is the generic one. I'm going to go and cast that. Cast to Western game instance. That is mine. And on it, I now have the properties for current mesh and current material. So I'll go and set the current, hello, there we go, set current material, no, sorry, set current mesh. And the mesh is then that. Boom. If that makes sense. I might just go stack these so that I can, in 2 weeks, I can remember what I'm actually doing here. Whoop. Always good. So I'll just go and keep these together like so. And much the same way, I might just go and drag this out here. From the character, we can, actually from the mesh, we can go and drag out get materials, and that, once again, that's an array. The first one of that is going to be the material that we're interested in. Get a copy, and that now will go into another thing that we'll set from the game instance. So maybe just drag that up so I can, or actually do that, make that look pretty in a moment. This one is going to be set current material. And that's the material. Yes, it fits. So if I had dedicated this as a regular material in the game instance, this wouldn't have plugged in there. I really don't know why that is. But hey, kind of what makes this thing also mysterious and exciting, isn't it? So let's go put that. No, that's not what I meant. Let's put this guy kind of up here so that I know it's the same thing. And I believe that is it. Mr. Rod is in the house. Joe, she's doing really well. Thank you so much for asking. She is, I think she has just finished work. Julia's doing well. She is working from home permanently currently until further notice due to the COVID thing. And it's really nice having both of us here at home. So it's like, you know, we have an open office. So when I'm streaming, I'm in the linen cupboard. But when I'm working during the day, it's literally we have both a desk in the living room, and that is where we both do our thing. And it's really nice because it's like I don't work alone. She doesn't work alone. It's awesome. You know, we're working on different projects, but you know, it's a really wonderful setup. So I really appreciate the fact that this is working so well. Thanks to Instacart. I really like that. Make some dinner. No worries, Chris. We'll be here when you get back. It's a lot of coding and hacking to do. Yeah, so Julia's resting after hard days of work. Stash character, that's our function. I believe the only thing that remains to be done now is that we need to call it, of course, just before we load a new level. So I'll just plug that into here and say stash character. There we go. Hooks right in. And I'll do the same here because we have two characters. Stash character, all right. Let's make sure I remember what this is. This is loading levels. All right. This is one part of our equation done. So we are stashing the values now in the game instance. Now when we go to our character, let's just quickly compile it to see if it works. Yes. Always good. So now our character, I think we can go hook into the construction script here, because currently what happens is that we have in the viewport, we've set the default values for this guy, which is why this guy shows up in this configuration. I'm setting them down here under mesh and materials. This is where I'm selecting that. But of course now when we go and load another level, the new level will technically ask, hey, game instance, give me the configuration of the character so that we can get going here. The game instance will say, hey, look, a new level hasn't actually been loaded. This is the first time we're loading this game, and my default values are currently set to nothing. So I'm going to have to go and bring those in. So in the construction script, we go and grab ourselves a reference to the game instance. So get game instance. That's the one. Just like before, we're going to go cast this thing to the Western game instance. And it will then get us those default values, either after a level load or when we start loading this level, loading the whole project for the first time. Oh, that's nice. Collaboration, that is cool. I love collaborations. That is really cool. Really nice idea. And then bring characters from both stories together. It's a very cool idea. How does he market his story? Is there something you can collaborate with marketing? That might be nice. So we now go and we now set these things on the mesh. So I think we're going to go and grab a reference there. And now we're going to go and say, yes, actually we do that. We do say, we set skeletal mesh. That's the one. Put that into here. And then from there, actually, maybe I should drag that out somewhere here. We need to find the new mesh that we're going to grab out of the game instance. Get current mesh. Oh, that's actually much easier than I thought. That hooks into here. So this is actually fairly simple. We're grabbing a reference to this mesh, which is our mesh, our character. It has a thing called the skeletal mesh, which we're grabbing from the game instance and popping that there in there. Reimpose isn't really important right now. And we'll do the same thing for the material. So set material. Kind of like so. And the material is also something that comes out of the game instance. So I'll go drag that out here. Get current material. It doesn't look super pretty, but I think it does. It should do the job. In the construction script of our character, we're getting a game instance. From that, we're grabbing the values for current mesh and current material, and we're popping those into the current mesh of our character. Does it compile? Yes, it does. That's nice. Whew. So, if we just go and quickly run this then. First of all, what I should be seeing is default values of businessman, which is correct. So this is what we've set on the game instance. So he has slightly tanned skin. And he's the businessman, of course. So that works fine. We can also give him a different outfit. And we can change the character. Like, this is businessman. This is bandit guy. Or let's say like a lady. So the skirt doesn't work well with the whole, walking around thing. Let's give her dark skin and something like the red dress. The red dress with dark skin tone. There we go. So yeah, don't worry about the skirt. But what I'm interested in is now, if we go and load the next level, so if we go to town with her, we should see her rather than the default character, if my logic is working flawlessly. Which of course it is! Oh my goodness! We also have 3 ladies, because they all take their default values now from the game instance. So we have literally triplets and me, so that's quadruplets. That's cool. We can change that. So this happened. I actually only put these characters in here because I needed to have a screenshot for Twitch and for YouTube later. So I just added a few more of myself in here, and that is now of course reflected in the fact that all these characters in that map was a town map. Save selected, yes please. Yeah, look, these are the default values that I'm setting on each character. But of course, the moment the game loads, this is the same character than this. So that now says in its construction script, hey, game instance has a value, let's go load it. And they all 3 do that, and that's why they're all saying we have the same value. So if I wanted to have these as individual ones, I could probably make another character, literally copy what I have and not set the construction script. That would work. And then I can just go and instantiate those. That'll work. So otherwise they have this construction script here. I might actually do that. Just go and duplicate this. And call that Cinti bystander. So then I know it's not the player character. And in the bystander, we have that event graph. We don't want to touch that. The construction script, yeah, exactly. That is literally what we don't want in here. So let's go take that out. That now means if any of these values that I set in the in here in the sidebar will persist. So let's go and take care of you, take care of you, take care of you, and then go and drag the Cinti bystander in here. They all have cameras. It's one of those things. Cinti bystander. One guy was kind of here somewhere, wasn't he? Yeah, there we go. Maybe a little bit further over here. It was just for the screenshot. It doesn't really matter where they are. I'll go and fiddle with the rotation a tiny bit. So that they kind of face us here. You two, come on. It's like in Maya. It's QWER switches. Sorry, WERT switches between the types of gizmos here. If you want to make quick adjustments, so quickly switch to rotation would be not R because that would make sense. It's actually E. Then we go and maybe have this guy be the sheriff. And the material for him is where exactly? It's not exposed? Ay caramba, maybe it's not exposed. Mesh, clothing, physics, collision, mesh. No, it looks like it's not exposed. Hey, it's fine. I don't really mind. This guy can be the bandit then, and this guy is going to be the lady of the night or somebody. Yeah, I think Working Girl was her name. Could also be somebody else. Could it be a gold miner? Nah, I see these guys. They're from the other pack, so they're not... I need to set that up. That could be... Does it work? Cinti Anim BP? No, it doesn't work because these guys haven't been retargeted. So that's... Okay, let's leave that for another time. So we'll go and say Working Girl. There we go. She has been retargeted. That's cool. Maybe this could also be a lady. Let's make that a lady as well. That is Cowgirl. All right, perfect. So now if I go and load this level here, I should see, if you just disregard that little window, I can now see that all my characters are you know, as I set them up. So that's nice. Goody. All right. Okay, businessman. Let's change you into somebody else, like this guy with a hat. Or in fact, this guy. That's cool. And just for argument's sake, let's go and click this. And you're still now in the desert. That's perfect. Yeah, bystander, it's selected. That's why the camera's there. Don't worry about it. Good stuff. I think, you know, we are indeed closing in on good things here. This is nice. Level selection and all that. Let's go save it all. Give it to the version control. What are we going to say we've done here? We've done so much, I can't remember now. Was the level loading? Oh yeah, added game instance. There we go. Alrighty. What next? What next, I wonder? Are we ready to do gamepad compatibility? No, actually, not quite yet. We could do, but I think no. Let's actually finish off this menu and make it look pretty. Currently, it just pops in and out. I might like it to swiftly animate in from the bottom, like that'd be nice. And also that little description message at the top. That wouldn't go amiss. to tell users what they're actually supposed to do, because 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, that is what we know about this, but users don't know about this. So perhaps let's do some menu jigging. That might be a good idea. Let's do that. Menu jigging. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Do you know, guns actually in this project, there are rigged guns. So they have, let's see if I can find them under meshes. Rigged, that's vehicles rigged. Weapons, there we go. And they are rigged weapons, so you can actually do triggers and all kinds of animations with them. That's really exciting. I wish I knew how to do that. But yes, that comes with the project. That's really exciting. Very interesting. So yes, as I know more about Unreal Engine, we'll totally implement that. Alrighty, menu. In the designer, what we'll do for that, I'll go close my horizontal box here. I like it. Rod, I think that's an excellent idea. I think that is that everyone, all these YouTube gurus, they always say collaborate with people your size, maybe slightly bigger, slightly smaller, it doesn't really matter, but collaborate, because then all of a sudden you're introducing a whole new audience to your audience. So yeah, that would be, it's a great way to do that, especially if you have something you can collaborate with / about. I wish I could. As I learn more about Unreal Engine, I might be able to do that, Joe. You know, speaking of YouTube, I'm actually extremely fortunate. YouTube have given me new features. That is exciting. So I think I now get access to, what's it called? A thing called the join button on YouTube. So that is a little bit like the subscribe button on Twitch, and it lets people give me monthly donations, and they get, in return, they get like special emote or something, or they get special things in the chat, in live chats. So that's kind of cool. I thought I had to reach 30,000 subscribers for that, which is a little ways off in the distance, but they've given it to me today, so that is extremely cool. I'm super happy about this, and yeah, I'll see how I can implement that. New features indeed. They've given me two. They've given me that, and they've given me the other thing was donation buttons for a cause. So in that case, on the join button, much like on a super chat donation, they take a cut. YouTube takes 70%, which is, you know, a bit hefty. Not as hefty as Twitch. Twitch take 50% as a cut, and I get 50 or 50 minus transaction fees or whatever. And on YouTube, I get 70% if you pay with on the desktop. And on these other donation buttons, if you want to raise money for a cause, they don't take a penny. They 100% goes to the cause that you set. So you know, you can say I'm raising awareness for colon cancer, and everyone who hits the donate button, 100% of that money goes into the Colon Cancer Foundation. So that's really nice to have those two options. I love that. So you can do fundraising videos or whatnot. I'm not sure if the girls from TNA will count as a cause, but if they do, I can try a video like that. And Rod, I still have no idea who Ashoka Tano is. One day, I'm sure I'll meet her. Let's see if I can remember animations. So the trick was to say my horizontal box is what I'd like animated. And I'll add an animation down here, and I'll call it maybe menu animation. Menu animation it is. And with that selected, I'll go and make sure my horizontal box is selected. I'll go and add a track to it, which is going to be for the horizontal box. So an animation can have several tracks for different objects. And horizontal box 01, I should perhaps, is that a good name? I have a feeling it's not such a good name for a horizontal box. It doesn't actually matter, it's fine. In here I have to create another track, which is then going to be the type of transformation I'd like to animate. So in my case, it's a transform. If I want this thing to go with the sound effect, that'll be a transform. Render opacity would be fade. Visibility is not animatable. Pivot point can be animated. I'll use the transform. And in the transform here, I can now go, I'll make this a bit bigger here. I can do shear, scale, rotation, translation, and I'm going to go use the translation for the Y. I'll go and do this maybe over 0.5 seconds. So I'll go to half a second and set myself a keyframe for Y here, which is both 0. So this means nothing happens, because between 0 and 0 interpolate, nothing will happen. But now that I'm back on the first frame, I'll just go and drag this down. This is not the Y rotation. There we go. I have to kind of just move that out of vision. $175 is probably a good value. Probably 200 is an excellent value. Let's do that. So now 200, let's remember that. Y rotation 200. So now if I play the animation, it goes from here to that, and then it goes if I play it in reverse. So I can do both these things. Only thing I don't have is the sound effect. I could play that as well. Maybe I'll record that later. That's how we animate the menu. It's actually it's fairly simple. And if I have something else I want to animate, I can do that as well. So the information text at the top, I might do that later. That's that. The only other thing that I need to do, I need to click off that animation here, and then the thing is still in its original position. So I don't really want that. I would like for the menu to be not invisible or hidden. I'd like for it to be visible, but for this thing to be not in vision. So I'd like the same default value for the Y transform up here under translation, under Y. I'm going to go and call that 200. And that's the same value with the animation selected or not. And what that'll allow me to do now is when I bring up this thing, that is now back in the character. Close some of these things down here. We need to go into show menu and hide menu and just have a quick think about how we currently bring up the menu. So under show menu, when I do that, I'll set the variable to my menu is visible, but then I'm just going to change the visibility value here, and that's why the menu currently just pops in and out. So I like to change this bit out and not use the visibility on here. I'd like to, on my selection menu, I might drag that out a little bit further over here. We need a bit of extra room. I'll just play an animation on that instead. So from the selection menu, I'm going to grab the animation itself first, which is the get the menu animation. That is the thing I'd like to play. And it now, I'd like to go and play forward. So play animation forward. And this will now animate the menu into vision. Didn't actually need that much room here after all, did I? Pop that into here. And we get to set playback speed if we wanted to make that a bit faster or slower. That's cool. If I had futzed up the value there. So that'll bring in the animation. So by the same token then, on the hide menu, we can do the same thing, but go and literally take the visibility thing away again. Get the same animation out. Get menu animation. And with that, maybe just go efficiently switch these over to here. Play this animation, same animation in reverse. Haha, what do you know? Play animation in reverse. Alrighty, same thing here. Pop in here. So it's the same animation that I'm using, and it goes up or down, and that's kind of nice. There. The only thing that remains to be done now is that if I were to run this project now, the menu would still be hidden and never be unhidden. So that means I have to go into, is it in the switch logic? I've forgotten where I do that now. No, it's in menu shenanigans, isn't it? In menu shenanigans, we set our visibility to hidden by default, and we rely on something to make it visible. So I'm going to just go make that visible, and that's it. I'm going to leave the rest as it is. See if it compiles. No, it doesn't compile. Ay caramba. User widget must have a connection. Yeah, that is actually a good point. Yeah, I should have really given you a connection there. Sorry about that. I could drag another wire out from here. It'll look all exciting when I go and put that over there. I might just drag the same selection menu up here and just put that target in there. It just looks a little bit neater. Yes, that is all it needed. Probably in hide menu as well. Yeah, of course, I've deprived you of a target there. I'm so sorry. Play animation node. You don't know which... Whoops. You don't know which... Man. Come back here. Don't know why my trackball does that sometimes, that he just loses connectivity that way. He doesn't know which menu to play that animation on. One of those things. Let's compile this. Yes, no errors. All right. Remind me, Rod, she doesn't appear in the original stories, did she? She was kind of more an afterthought. Be honest. I do actually, did you see this? I am actually wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, you know. It's nice. Target, $5.99. Good stuff. Royalty goes to Mr. George Lucas himself. Hello, George. Love your movies, by the way. Just in case you're watching. So let's see if our menu animation actually works. That is always the big worry. Oh, did you just see the menu kind of just disappeared there? I'm going to have a look at that in a moment. But right now, much smoother. Look at butter smooth scrolling. All right. I could do this all day. That is nice, isn't it? That is really neat. So now we have something really swishy going on here. It's not the pop in that we had. What do you say, girl? Look at the menu. All right. What do you say, cowgirl? All right. Look at that. Sheriff. White sheriff. I'm the dark sheriff. Sheriff, what do you say? Look at smooth menu. Oh, she was from the animated series. Gotcha. Okay. This is great. Do you know why we're in the menu mood? Let's just go finish this off and put that little explanation up here. That we can also animate in many ways. So I can also scroll that in from the bottom. I can scroll that in from the side. I can make that, I can kind of turn it like, that's an idea. Or I can just fade it at that position. It kind of depends on how we want to bring that in. So I could slide it in from the side. That would work. I could also slide it in from the bottom so they could both come in at the same time. That could work. I might do that. He'll come in from the side, or just fade. I might just go fade it in its position. It might not look good if I fade it because the bottom menu is just so swishy. I could just go and put it up. Maybe we'll do that. So the menu comes in from here, exclamation comes in from there. That might be like, that might be kind of cool. We can try it out. It's easy to change. Let's see if we can do it. So for that, I can use the same animation, so I don't need to cue another animation. I can just use forward and backwards on the same animation there. For now, actually, I'm going to go... No, actually, I don't. I'm going to go... move it here so we can see where that text needs to be, just in relation to the rest. I can't make it part of the horizontal box because otherwise it would just line it up next to all the buttons, so it'll have to be a standalone thing. And I think I'll just use just a regular text block here. And I'll mess with the with the placement and the text. Actually, let's put the text in first. We're probably going to set this with a variable later, but just so now that we have something to give us a placeholder. No worries. I'm so glad you tried it, Beard Goblin. You know, if I can put you to sleep, hey, that's my pleasure. That's really, really nice. And you know where the VOD is if you want to watch it for breakfast, which is what I did this morning, actually. Christina did a really long, extremely good video about curves in Blender with the curve add-on, and it is just so beautiful to watch. And I usually take a lot of time doing that because I follow along, I pause the video, and then really gets it into my head. So one of those things. Good night, my friend. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll be back here 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, once again your bedtime, to do more with this project. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate that. I'll just call this here, press 1 to 4, or actually just 1 to 4 to change outfit, 1 to 4 to change outfits, little pipe symbol, 5 to 7 to change skin tone. Skin tones. There we go. And then outfits should also have a capital O. That is what it looks like then. Not so bad. Let's go position it properly. I'll just call this one, rather than text block 84, I'm going to call that description. Just so that we know what that is. Anchors. I say bottom center. I say like that. And size to content. All right. This now looks messy, of course, but it's because we need to go and change the X alignment here to 0.5. Then that'll be in the center. And we'll pick a funky value for the Y alignment. Such as maybe 2. No, 2 is no good. 5 maybe. 5's kind of good. 4.5 perhaps. 5 it is. 5 it is. I like it. Color and opacity. While we're here, I think I'll leave it white. I'll just drop down the alpha value by a little bit. So 0.7 perhaps. That just makes it blend in a bit better. And that's that. Currently, the animation will not take care of this. So we'll have to give it another track. So with that description selected, let's give it a new track. Coffee run, very important. And I'll do kind of the same thing, description. Here we go, that's it. We could actually rename the horizontal box from horizontal box 0, shall we? We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. It's cool. It's fine. For the description, I'm going to go and add another track. And this one, we're saying we're going to try and drop it in from the top. So menu comes in from the bottom, text drops in from the top. Could look pants, and you know, it could look terrible, but let's try with transform. And since this is already my value at which I like the animation to finish, that's actually perfect. You can rotate, scale it, you can do all kinds of things. Be creative. And right at 0, we need to know which Y value do we need to give this so that it's completely out of vision. See if we can determine that. Hey, come on you. There we go. Somewhere here. Minus, I don't know, minus 900. Is that going to be far enough away now? It has to be something bigger. Minus 1000. So it'll do this now. Do you get me? This could look pants. It could look super exciting. I really don't know. Let's try it out. The beauty of this approach now, by the way, is that we don't need to do anything else. The animation is the same one that we've already set up, that the same one that gets queued. It's just now queuing another track inside the animation and using another object. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what happens. It might be a little bit disturbing. I'm not sure. It also could probably do with a darker color, otherwise I might not know what this is. It's certainly smooth, I give everyone that, but I don't know. I might just have it slide in from the left instead. I think that might look better. So if we don't change the Y value, because, you know, it just goes through our viewport. I'm going to change the text to dark, like a dark gray, and then I'll go and slide it in from the left. What does it look like in the other level here? What does it look like in the desert? Probably not any better, because it's just a bright level, so white text ain't so good for us. Dark text, slide in from the left. Let me try that. So that's actually fairly easy to do. All I need to do is just remove the keyframes here. All of these, boom. And that one. Haha. And then this will set this back to 0. That brings our text back. And now I think I'm gonna leave it here. So 0, that's perfect. So now I'm gonna go to the front and see what happens if I change instead the X value, so that the menu kind of disappears out of vision here. Minus 1300, that sounds good. Minus 1300. It needs to be more, doesn't it? So let's go say minus 1350, just so that it's out of vision. And that now, oh, actually it doesn't do anything here. Ha 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 ha. Okay, good. Let's go 0 here. That should do the trick. There's still that row keyframe. I don't really need it. I'm going to go take it out. Now this might look a little bit better. Let's see. I do like that better, my people. It looks still smooth, but it doesn't give us that visual thing. And of course it's not dark yet, so yeah, we'll make that happen. But yeah, it'll look better the moment it's more, you know, black. That happens under color and opacity, where we'll go and set this to, I suppose, not 0. A pitch black is like super white. It's never good. I think maybe 0.1. Let's see, that might be awesome. Also perhaps with less opacity than like 0.9. See what that looks like. And yeah, I can read that much better. It's a better indication of what I'm supposed to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to change skin tones. That's nice. It is still very, very light in here. I wonder if I should take the light intensity down in this level just a bit. I mean, it is the desert, I do agree, and it's foggy and all that. I like that, but it's just a bit too bright in here. So I could either go take the exposure compensation down another level. I think it'll just benefit the player experience a bit. See if we can make that happen. That's done in the post-process volume. Post-process volume, and that's on the right here somewhere. Exposure compensation there. Let's go and set that maybe to -1. Yeah, look, that makes it all a bit darker. I have a feeling I'm going to like this a little bit better. There. So it's afternoon in the desert. I see now I'm on white text back. Even darker, actually. Perhaps I should go with black. This is still very light gray for my liking. I'd like it to be even darker. Let's do that. But did I actually change this properly? Yeah, this is the shadow color. Color and opacity. 0.1. Let me set this to 0. And then alpha value. I like 0.9. Let's see if that works. I mean, that's really black now. I don't know if that's going to be too black. I suppose the opacity is going to help us out here a little bit. I can read that better now. It's almost like a little bit too black for me, but I think, you know, I can always drop down the opacity to 0.7 again. Maybe that'll be better. Yes, what's cooking for dinner? Tell us. Shadow color, yeah, let's go and drop this down to maybe 0.7 then. See how that works. And of course, notice that the moment the thing starts, it will actually cue the animation. So that is something I need to take care of. Here, 0.7 is, I'm going to make it 0.8, and then I'm going to be done with this last tweak. Sometimes I really get bogged down in the details. I think I might increase the text color on here as well to make that a bit darker. So 0.8 here is black and 0.8. Maybe I'll make the same thing here. I do get hung up in the details sometimes. So make that 0.8. It's black and 0.8. And we're going to do the same thing on those buttons here. In fact, I can probably select them all, can't I? This and that and that. This one and that one, and that's already that. Quit, there we go, those three. Color and opacity. Yeah, so we'll make that 0, 0, 0, and was it 0.8? Yes. And I think we'll be able to see that a bit better. Yes, I like that much better. More cohesive, I like it. Could be Rod. It is now. That's him. Very nice. Another option, instead of turning down the post-process volume, is to turn down the light. We may have a play with that later. I'm going to just finish off this menu here. Pork with onions and apples on a side of potatoes and peas. That is a really good dinner. Wow. Awesome. Good to hear. Yeah, because, you know, exposure compensation, that also means things are a little bit darker overall, which is ungood. Whoops. So let's go play with that now. Post-process volume, let's put that to minus 0.5. That makes it a little bit lighter again. Do we have any lights? Not post light, just regular light. Oh, come on. Light, yeah, we have several. We've got this one. We've got the directional, couple of point lights. The sunlight. Sunlight, that's here. I don't think that actually has. Does that have an intensity? Yeah, intensity scale. This happens, we put that to 0. It certainly is darker, but it also hasn't quite helped us much. So maybe also 0.5. I bet there's another light source here, the directional lights. They can sometimes have 5 lux, so make that 3 maybe. That makes it a bit darker, a bit dimmer. Another directional light, that's 0.1. That's just to fill in the shadows. I might just leave that as it is. Maybe just put that to 1. Let's do that actually. And then we go put the post-process volumes exposure compensation back to 0 like we had it yesterday. Then we still have that sunny character. It's just a little bit less, you know, brutal. I also wanted to open the saloon doors because, you know, otherwise how would anyone get a drink? The funniest is when you actually select the character who's on the wanted poster. I think, can we do that? Yes. Ay, caramba, mamacita, 500 buck rewards on my head. I see. All right, see you soon, Chris. Thank you for stopping by and have a good stream later. Enjoy. So let's open the saloon doors. I think that's a good idea. And then let's go and make sure that, notice that when we start the project, notice that the menu kind of animates away. like this. You know, it kind of animates away. This is happening, I think, because we need to set some good old-fashioned default values when we're not on the animation. So if we click off that, then, well, this is already out of vision, so that shouldn't really happen. Oh, it's because the hide menu thing happens. I think that is why that happens. When the hide menu thing gets called, the animation is being played back reverse. So we'll come up with a little logic that will make that happen. This, however, needs a default value. Very important. Under transform, I forgot actually what the default value was. Minus 1350 on the X. Gotcha. Out of vision. Yeah, so we need to just come up with a little logic that doesn't dismiss the menu when we do that. Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. That's cool. Let's go open the Saloon Doors here quickly. Would they open outward or inwards? I mean, they're kind of spring doors, but would they be opened inwards already? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. We could put logic in this. That means we'd have to convert these, at least the doors, to a blueprint. I'd probably convert the whole barn into a blueprint and then give it logic that way. Pedro the Packet Pirate, that's him! Oh my god, I never visualized him like that, with the hat and everything. I barely recognized him. 500 bucks. Do you know how many Cinti assets that buys? At the current sale, a lot. Look, now we can go into the saloon here. Bartender! Whiskey, neat. No ice. Oh, we don't have any ice. Good point. We do have a safe, however. That is nice. Very good. Goody. What else did I say I wanted to do? Apart from the menu logic, there was something else. I just forgot what that was now. Gamepad logic I think we'll do tomorrow. I think that's a cool idea. What else was there? Martini, yes, shaken, not stirred. I might have a non-stirred coffee. Can you remember what I wanted to do? There was something. I just don't remember. Isn't that always the case? There. Nice cup of coffee. I wish I remembered. There was the other characters. I might have a crack at that later as well. There was that other level. Yes, I don't actually remember what that was now. One of those things. I suppose, let's do, I have a suggestion of what I can do here when we, on the construction script, on the character's construction script, this is where that ugly thing happens where, no, not there. Is it on event begin play actually? That's where that happens. So forget hide menu, forget show menu, forget the switch logic, it's in menu shenanigans, that's it. Hide menu. Let's not call that function here. In fact, let's dismiss the menu the moment we load the new level. So let's leave that there and let's not dismiss the menu. Let's still call the function, but let's do it at the appropriate place, which is in the selection menu where we load the level, where we say stash character. That's a separate function, and I think we can just go ahead and once we've stashed the character, let's just go and dismiss the menu here, because that happens then before the new level is loaded. I think that's going to be interesting. No, Rod, you're not. Let me assure you that. Do we have a character? Yes, it's buried there. That's cool. So let's go and grab another reference to the character here. And on the character, let's just go call this thing called hide menu. And we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it at a different point in the time-space continuum. And that should, so hopefully, I mean, I'm guessing here, you know. There we go. Yeah, actually, it works now. Perfect. So the menu still works. The moment I start the project, the thing doesn't happen. So it just, you know, it just comes up with the level that I want. And now I can go call up the menu. Hopefully it still works. Yes, it works. That's perfect. And does it go, well, town, we're already in town. We could do this a little bit neater here. That we query, are we in town, then disable the button. Could do that, but let's not. Then we go into the desert, and there's the desert. Ay caramba, sombrero guy. What's happening? Cowgirl, I like it. Ooh, that's bear skin drying out. Will we meet bears? Let's check out them tents. Also, let's check out some more of this level. I mean, there's this whole... There's the tents here, that's one thing. But there's also... There's this little collection of stuff here. Might also tweak the lights in here. I think it's also a bit light in here. There's this whole thing that we haven't had a look in yet. Oh, okay. Guess we know which side we're on here. The blues and the greys, huh? There we go. Can't climb any ladders yet. That is logic I'd love to implement. We can walk up here, that's nice, but no ladders. That's a shame. We need animations for that, and can't walk in here either. What a shame. Can I jump over here? No, I can't. There's so much work that you still have to do before the basics are even in there. Oh, dinner. What is it? Pork, potatoes? Sadly not. That's only available at Chris's house. Yeah, let's see if we can do... Oh, people have been shooting arrows here as well. My goodness. Let's see if we can tone down the light here a little bit. We're in this level already. And we have that post-process volume. And exposure compensation is already 0. That's nice. Let's go see if we can find any lights here. Got that big directional light. This one's actually alright here. Point lights I'm not going to touch. This one, that's already a little bit kind of, you know, low-ish. Maybe it's alright then. Yeah, because if I make it any lower than that, well, that might actually be the thing I was looking for. Oh, wrong level, sorry. Desert level, please. Yeah, was it even the desert level? We weren't even in the desert level, were we? No, this is the wrong level. Quick! Make that light change. Go back again. Put it back to 3. There we go, that's perfect. Save it all and head over to the frontier map. That's really where we need to make that change. Duh. Right, I can't. That is just, you know, I mean, the good thing is there's not one guy doing it. You know, that is number one. That's true. They have various people. But the time it takes to do any of these things in any 3D thing, I mean, even if you use something fairly simple like Moho, that is just, everything just takes forever, doesn't it? The exposure compensation, let's set that to 0 to begin with. I think that might be a good step in the right direction here. Yeah, now it's got this afternoon kind of delight going here. I think I like that much better. We still see it is a desert, but it's not quite so overexposed. I might put it to 0.5. Gives it that hazy look. Yeah, so 0.5, that makes it a bit brighter, but I think it's important to still see what's actually going on there rather than see only washed out stuff. Want to appreciate what the Cinti guys have been modeling. it could be one guy with just literally intravenous Red Bull. That's also possible. Look at that, and this is like the quarry here, and you have to mine things out and make sure. Oh, look at that. Very cool. Oh, did you see the lighting change here from reddish to green? I don't know what happened here. This is warmer. The moment we go back into here, it kind of goes and gets green. I don't know what's happening here. We may be walking in and out of the post-process volume. That could be that volume just doesn't extend enough. So we'll have to look at that. But hey, I think most of the content is here. This is a much larger level than the town level out of the box. I like that. Snake oil, cure all. Haha, let's do that. No Red Bull, you think? One of those things. Yeah, I think if you do it as part of a team, you have to have specialized people. I mean, the problem with us, no matter what program we use, is that we're all-rounders in everything. That means, by definition, we're crap at pretty much all of it. We're just kind of okay-ish up to a point-ish. And we have to spend so much time and effort to make the tiniest changes. And in larger crews, I mean, you have a specialist who goes, you need me to fix the texture? Done. You don't then spend 5 hours out of your day doing it. He just spends 5 minutes, and you know that's what they do. Rigger, texture artist, environment artist, level builder. Then you've got the guys who do the creative aspect, who go and say, well, this is how I'd like the level to look. And then another guy goes and builds it and makes it all much more efficient. Yeah, but folks like us, we just need to spend 5 years on a project that isn't even good. So that's just how it works, isn't it? Oh dear. Do you know, yes, that is done, Rod, by this thing called the post-process volume. So let me find a shadowy section, and you see this exposure compensation at work that literally blows out skies. And it happens by what I'm looking at. So if I'm looking at something dark like this, you can see that it regulates things up to a point. So now the shadows and the whole wall aren't as dark as they were a minute ago. And when I turn around quickly, you'll see that the sky is really blown out first, and now it takes a moment for it to regulate down. This is exactly the exposure compensation that I've tweaked. So now we go into here, and it looks almost underexposed. It's kind of all right because it's all outdoors. But if I go into, in fact, let me go into the town, and let's see if we can go into the saloon here, into the back room perhaps, where it's really dark. If you do this in like a cave scenario where it's really dark and there's barely any light, an Unreal Engine can compensate for that so that you can see a little bit of stuff. But then when you go outside again, the lighting is being regulated. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful how it works kind of automatically without us having to get involved much. So like now it's extremely light here, but as I wait a moment, it just goes and I'm saying, no, now I can see the sky is actually blue, and there's clouds in there. And now this is darker again, but then when I wait a moment, it goes and comes back. Could open these doors here. I'd love to spend a night in one of those rooms here. I can't get through, like, hey, what's happening? Yeah, let me open some doors up here. Yeah, this, we can implement logic that when he approaches a door, you have to press a button or whatever, then the door opens. But that's a little bit of work, because this whole thing, the whole saloon, needs to be turned into a blueprint first so that we can attach logic to it. It's true, but I think, and this is where this whole, I think every industry is going that way. Music, writing, making video games, making, you know, anything that has to do with, that used to have to do only with large teams, that's becoming more and more possible with the right technology for us at least to get a tiny foot in the door. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you go and, if you really spend a lot of time on this, you could, maybe this opens to the inside there like this. Perfect. You could literally go and spend a few years out of your life, believe in what it is that you're doing, and, whoops, come on, door. and then go ahead and literally make a game, release it, and make good cash out of it. And I bet you $1,000 the people like the Ubisofts and all these types of large companies, I'm not sure how happy they are about the fact that game engines and highly complicated, previously super expensive technology ends up in the hands of Joe Bloggs, you know, high school student who just dedicates a bit of time and is a bit clever, and all of a sudden you've got something like, you know, $40 million on your hand. You think, hey, Ubisoft, why haven't we made that money with our 600 strong team? Hey, this is a very tiny room, I must say. This ain't so big, y'all. There's barely room to close the door when I'm in here. But hey, it's only 5 cents a night, so it's not really that big an issue. Very cool. You're getting supper tonight. Ah, Joe, had I known. I'll drop by next time. Oh, here, we need to open this as well. Let's do that. Let's go open the balcony door outwards. And then my man can walk up on the balcony and give speeches and stuff. One day I will remember what the shortcut for that is. Let's go Alt-P. Righty. Because it'd be so good. If I go escape, I'll have to press Alt-P. And I'm playing. Yeah, that's good. Then I can leave this in full view here. That is nice. There, let's go open that. We can go in here. We can go into the bedrooms. That's good. Let's go on the balcony. My fellow Americans. Cool. Opposite the train station. This is actually really nicely laid out. So you come off the train. You come into whatever this is. Schlonstown. There's nothing for miles, but the train gets you there. And then you check into this hotel. You can have a good time. Grab yourself a lady of the night. A few whiskeys. And if you'd implement the logic, you can even climb the ladder and go up onto the roof. Sadly, I don't know how to do that, so we'll have to make do with the balcony. This is for your horses here. Are there horses? That would be nice. I mean, horse would be happy with a bit of water at the trough here. Let's have a look. Do we have horses? Also, let's go and save everything. Save all. And what is for dinner, Rod? Probably under Western this and the other. Meshes, props, vehicles, weapons, characters. It's not in characters. Could be under. Are there props? Horses? I wonder. I don't actually know if we have if we have horses in here. It's not on props. Well, we've got these cards here. I would imagine we have. They're not. Are they characters? No, they're not characters, are they? Environment. Could that be? No, that's cacti and rocks and stuff. I don't know if we get horses here. Could be with the Frontier Pack. Meshes, characters. Look at the amount of characters. I could retarget them all if the skeleton is the same. I mean, I'm hoping it is. I don't want to deal with 2 skeletons. I'd love to deal with 1 skeleton. We could try that. We could try retargeting them and then literally expand our character selection to all these guys. That would be so cool. Generic. Oh, a few clouds. That's nice. Props. Horses. Anybody. Could be vehicle. No. It's not a weapon, obviously. It's not a building. Don't think we have any horses. Maybe they're available in a different pack. Also, whoever's birthday it was, happy birthday, by the way. Don't know why that birthday song came up in my playlist, but hey. Well, alrighty then. I think we've done a lot. We've got a snazzy menu that goes snaz in and snaz out. We have tons of characters to select from. We can change their outfit. We can go to town or to the desert. That is nice. That is seriously cool. Run around in that and explore that. Travel, literally. That is cool. And hopefully, eventually, we can catch Pedro the Packet Pirate. All we need now is a name for our town, I think. And horses to ride, vehicles to drive, water to swim in, more characters to rig. So yes, my plan is tomorrow to add gamepad compatibility to this. And then I'd love to have a go at adding all the other characters, so I can literally expand this whole box down here. Imagine we expand this box to be like a huge grid, like of so many characters that we can then select. That'd be so cool. Means we have to make more icons and expand this whole selection menu. Maybe even add a few more levels to that. That'd be cool. There's better ways to do this. We can use radial menus and all that, but you know, I think this is a great starting point. It looks like it's going to turn into an ambitious project, even though we still can't do anything. All we can do is say change characters and walk around in 2 levels. What are that? Reuben sandwiches. Oh my god, they're my favorite. Oh, with sauerkraut? Sauerkraut, right? Yeah, I like it. Brian, what's for dinner at your place? I think we're going to have sandwiches as well. I don't think it's going to be Reuben isn't going to be featured anywhere, but it could be featured with sauerkraut. That's wonderful. I think Julie and I will go for a walk in a moment. Pick up some potato chips, or crisps as we like to say in the UK. And then we'll go and make ourselves some sandwiches as well. Righty, I'll park you in the woods here, my friend. Hide from Pedro the Packet Pirate. Or in fact, even better, let's go to town. You catch the train, buddy. Bye, girls. I have to leave town now. Actually, let me go buy some ammunition first. The ammunition store. Do some shootouts. We can open some more of these doors tomorrow as well. I like when we have a demo that we have something like this that we can walk into and at least nosy around a little bit. It just makes for so much more fun, even though there might not be much in there. But we can just go open the doors and, you know, that's that. Do I have to buy a ticket here? Do I have to go into the ticket hall here? There's no stairs going up. I have to kind of jump up here. It's the waiting room. That's nice. It looks like the ticket inspector's office here. And now I'll catch a train. I'll try. It's not so easy. Oh, there we go. I'll ride on the coal wagon. What are you standing on, dude? Hey, let's not worry about it. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for dropping by. I really appreciate hanging out with you all. And tomorrow I'll be back for more development in Unreal Engine. This is actually really fun, and I think the more we do this together, it's just nice not to be alone and, you know, come up against crazy situations. It's just all nice if we do it together. Joe, Rod, Brian, Beard Goblin, if you're coming back, Chris, everyone else who's watching, thank you so much for dropping by. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. Bye-bye.